Ilina and welcome to another LDRS creative card video. Today I'm using some of the new holiday products. So we have mainly, I'm focusing on dies. So we have the layered poinsettia die set, and this creates a beautiful poinsettia. It comes, the flower itself has 4 parts that you can die cut from different color of cardstock, and the leaf has 3 parts. Also, I will be using the modern geometric A2 cover plates. There are 1, 2, and 3 that you can layer them together or use them individually. And you can layer them in any order. I'll be using the 1 and 3 and put the second plate aside. So you can see here the way you order them, you can get different looks of different layering looks. So let's get started. So I'm using the 1 and 3 plates. I've already die cut. One is from white cardstock and the other one is from shimmer gold. And you can see if I switch them, the order, if I put the gold, we have more focus on gold, and if we put it on the bottom, it's kind of more subtle effect of that gold. That's what I was going for. And now I am die cutting the poinsettia, so I will use 2 flowers, so I have 2 of each element there. And also I will go with a blue poinsettia, which is pretty unusual, but I like using non-traditional colors for my Christmas cards. So that's why I decided to go with Pool Aqua Blues. So also I've die cut layers from white cardstock, 2 additional for the base and 1 additional for that layer on top. And then we have the center that I've die cut from gold glitter and from gold shimmer cardstock. So now let's start putting everything together. I'm starting with the center of the flower, the poinsettia, and I'm adding a little bit of liquid adhesive and adding that second layer on top. I'll put acrylic block on top so it dries flat. While that dries, I'm adhering the 2 cover plate die cuts. Again, I'm putting the white on top and the gold on the bottom. So we have more subtle gold effect of gold look of our card at the end. So again, I'm using liquid adhesive. You can also use spray adhesive, but I didn't feel like going outside to spray that layer, so I just went with the liquid adhesive. Again, I put acrylic blocks on top so that dries nice and flat. Next, what I'm doing here, I'm layering up that second layer for the poinsettia. I just have 1 piece of white cardstock. This creates more kind of sturdiness to that flower, and when you put it through the mail, it will come to the recipient in much better shape. If something happens in the mail, if it gets folded or bent or anything, it has more sturdiness and more resistance to all the pressure or the way they're tossed in the mail. So next I will do the same thing with the leaves. I will layer those up. For the leaves, I don't have additional layers. There are 3 layers on the leaves, so I'm using 1 of each of the pieces. You can use also the 2, the first and second layer, or the first and third layer. But for this one, I decided to use all 3. So my bottom layer is dark medium green. The second layer is light green, and the top layer, that half piece there, it's dark green. So it kind of creates some variation of that leaf in the colors of the leaf. So I'm just putting again acrylic block on top so they dry nice and flat. I'm finishing assembling that flower. I just had some tape on the back that I ran that piece through my die cutting machine. So let's start assembling. I'm adding again liquid adhesive on back of that geometric A2 cover plate, and I'm adhering it to a white top folding note card. making sure that it's lined up. Again, adding that acrylic block or blocks on top so it dries nice and flat. Then we're gonna finish assembling the flower. So I covered that entire piece on the back with liquid adhesive. I'm gonna position and line up. Okay, that's our flower and the 2 leaves we're gonna be using for our card. Next I have a piece of white cardstock and I will stamp a sentiment from the potted Poinsettia stamp set. I'll stamp it with Watermark and emboss in clear ink and emboss in gold. So I decided to go with the gold so it matches that the center of the flower as well as that subtle gold look from our cover plate. I'm making sure that the heat tool is nice and hot before I go apply the heat to the paper. So let's start assembling our card. I'm using my paper trimmer to trim that sentiment and make sure that it's nice and straight. Just gonna trim here. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit off the camera there on the bottom. I'm just trimming the ends of that. Next, either you can use foam tape or you can stack cardstock like I did the stacking for my die cuts. I'm using the same principle for the sentiment. I will use 3 strips of white cardstock that I was about to toss, like cardstock scraps. I saved those for kind of layering and giving more sturdiness to my cards. I have one more. I'm gonna let that dry. Then add some more adhesive on the back and add it to the card. Okay, next what we have left is to adhere the leaves and the flower and add little gold halfback pearls to the center of that poinsettia. So for the leaves I use liquid adhesive. For the flower on the side, since it's a little bit raised on the part where the leaves are, so I'm adding tin foam squares. And then on the second half I will add liquid adhesive. Okay, I'm just going to press that down. So now we have one more step, and that's adding the little gold halfback pearls. I just wanted to add a little bit more interest and shine to the center of that flower. Okay, and that finishes our card. Thank you so much for stopping by today and watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the LDRS Creative YouTube channel. Also visit our blog for more ideas and more inspiration. Thanks for watching. Bye!